All right. Y'all know I got to make sure we are live on YouTube and that y'all can hear me. Let's go here. Check. All right. So we in there, we live. Now, during this live, if y'all happen to hear any snoring or anything like that, just disregard. We got to use the resources we got in the space we had to do what we can do at that time. That's the principle. So let's get into it. I did the video yesterday on the Jaguars second round pick, tight end Nate Borkature. Today we will be discussing the second person we decided to pick in the third round. Now, I want to do this series because there's just so much media talk, fan talk on who we decided to draft. Now, I'm going to play this video again. I played it yesterday when we talked about Nate, and it was Gladstone giving his thoughts and what he's looking for in the draft. I'm going to play it again today because it's very relevant with this pick right here. So let me pull that up. And let's go.
Hard to say. I think the good part is based off of where we're mapping things out, there's a lot of depth positions that we feel like we're going to address. Beyond that, as it always seems to be the case, is when it comes to the rush, there's a good chunk of defensive ends in this crop in comparison to maybe some of the others, which I think will make for an exciting first round, because typically when you can rush the passer, there's going to be a priority, a premium gets placed on that. There's no reason to think that guys that we might label as incomplete become complete by the time their NFL career is over. There is development that occurs and surprises people. It's why day 3 and undrafted college free agents become Pro Bowlers and All Pros.
If you look at the draft.
So that was Gladstone. I said it yesterday with Nate Borkature. Same thing here with Albert Regis. He made sure to put that up. And this pick was very pertaining to what they said was one of the things that they were looking for. And he made sure to put after that, based on people projections, where somebody's drafted. It's a development stage in the NFL. That's why you have guys who's picked in these places that weren't projected to be there, or it's third round pick. Guys, we in the age, especially now, they second, third round, sometimes fourth round picks are expected to make impacts early. So that's why he said there's a development period in the NFL. That's why a lot of times you see round 3 guys end up becoming Pro Bowlers, all pros. They said that coincide this whole draft, as you're going to see, we go through this whole draft players they pick. That's what they was looking for. But let's play the call. Let's see who I done kind of said the name already, but let's see who they ended up picking, and then their analysis on his strings, stuff like that, and what our thoughts may have been in selecting said player.
With the 81st pick in the 2026 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Albert Regis, defensive tackle, Texas A&M.
Just referenced him, CD, a little bit earlier. We saw his teammate go off the board. It's kind of like twins in this draft, right? There's 2 of everything at every school. Regis has got real quick feet. He's the undersized defensive tackle at A&M. He's one who plays with that leverage, gets underneath guys because of that shorter stature, and you see how thick he is in the lower half. He's able to use that for power, and then he can shoot some gaps as well with that quickness. Not the biggest guy at that position. He's just under 6'2", 295. He's got a little bit shorter arms, but someone who you see him, he flashes when you watch the tape.
By the way, even with the short arms and the short stature, 10 PBUs at the line of scrimmage. He would constantly get his hands up, get his hands on the football.
So I decided to, when I first watched his highlights tape, I watched it on mute because I didn't want, I don't want no other perspectives clouding my perspective and what I saw. I saw the same things on the tape. I'm like, dang, this dude quick. Like, it's power. He's powerful. I be telling people when you talking about size and stuff, because the guy's short, look at his stature. He's stocky. That ain't nothing but power down there. That's why he's so fast, getting off the block, so fast, shooting the gaps. We drafted him to be a run stopper. His pass rush, like I seen some Jaguars fans talking about, oh, he only got 3.5 sacks. First of all, he's a D tackle. Like, he's not like he's not. That's not really what his strength is going to be. But first of all, that's not the strength. I feel like we purely drafted him to be a run stopper, and he's going to be a rotational piece. 6'1", 295 pounds. But at that size, like I said, very quick, powerful, versatile. Now, my concern with him is still the size, because with the shorter arms, because again, this is NFL, this is another level. These offensive linemen big. I mean, we're gonna get into who we drafted after him. His side, like his offensive lineman a bit. That's my only concern, but that's where the quickness and the power and how with his strength, is he strong enough? How will that hold up at the next level? But like I said, with the tight end we drafted, a lot of people didn't like that. And we want to be able to run the ball, and you want to be able to stop the run. You want to be able to run the ball and stop the run. We're gonna get into it a little later, but I go back to the Eagles because of their recent success. The Chiefs with their dominant defensive line when they had the run game, but they got Mahomes and Andy Reid. But most people don't really talk about the Chiefs D-line when they were successful. But I look at the Eagles because they just annihilated the Chiefs. Saquon, run the ball, stop the run. Jaguars 2017, we were able to run the ball. We had a dominant defense, dominant D-line, stop the run. That the NFL is a copycat league. We have to understand why said guys are being drafted, where they're projected to fit in our offense. And again, he wasn't drafted to be a key piece on the defensive line. He's going to be a rotational player. You still got Eric Armstead. You still got Devon Hamilton. You still got we went out and got Ruke Ororo. I think that's how I say it. Ruke Ororo. So guys, he's gonna be a rotational piece. And let's say teams having to constantly go against the bigger guys, the 6'4s, the arc is like 6'7", 6'7". You have to go, then you come up with this 161 guy who's quick and powerful. That's a change. You pair him with the bigger guy who can eat up blocks, who can push the pocket, who can to get to the quarterback, and his quickness along with that to stop. Ain't nobody gonna be able to do nothing. So, like I said, rotational player, which Gladstone did say they want to build depth. They want to be able to the rush, the D-line, depth, rush, the D-line, depth. And like I said, the Eagles that year in 2017 when they won, matter of fact, I want to pull it up. Should have had this pulled up. I want to pull up the Eagles roster in 2017. I just want to each of those years, because I looked at this earlier. They were started defensive end, D tackle, linebacker, like especially that line, man. Let me. This was 2017. Look at this. Vinny Curry, Tim Jernigan, I remember them, Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, Kendricks at linebacker. Like just look at this core right here. And then the rotational pieces behind them. I mean, like I said, the NFL is a copycat league. Look at the Rams and where their defense is. Barnett, I remember Barnett. Look at where their defensive, especially their D-line, is currently ranked. With that year they drafted Jared Verse. I remember people talking about that. Now I say, fans, media can't worry about what them people gonna say. Now, what I want to do to tie all this in, I'm gonna pull up the NFL, the 2025 NFL defensive rankings, because that wasn't just 2017 with the Eagles. The first year they went with Jalen Hurts, and just this recent win. I mean, we all know this most recent, that D-line completely annihilated. That she's Patrick Mahomes couldn't do nothing. But I want to show this list. It's the final NFL 2025 NFL defensive line rankings. And what you're going to see. Is there a way for me to blow this up? Yeah, what you're going to see is outside of, we'll go through it, but we're going to stay with the top 10. Let's look at how many teams that have great defensive lines, how many of them made the playoffs. And then we're going to see which ones went far. Number 1, Cleveland Browns. We all know why they ain't make it to the playoff. Horrible, incompetent quarterback play. This just lets, if they get competent, if they can get a competent guy quarterback, the Browns will be something to mess with that D-line. Texans, playoff team. Steelers with an old man at quarterback, playoff team. Broncos, playoff team. Rams, playoff team. Lions were not, but lost their D coordinator, lost their OC, injuries. So there was a lot of inconsistencies. As I said, outside a horrible QB player, inconsistencies, these teams made it to the playoffs. We all know about the Cowboys and their inconsistencies, but for them, it's just the culture like that. They're never gonna do anything. They're not gonna. I don't want to say never. They're not gonna do it until they figure out that culture and Jerry sit down somewhere. They're not gonna do anything. So we all. I even looked at. I'm like, dang, Cowboys. How did they not make the playoffs? Seahawks, the doggone Super Bowl champs. Eagles, Super Bowl. Vikings, they didn't make it, but why? Horrible, incompetent, inconsistent quarterback play. Now we can even take it down. We can even go to the 5th. Let's add on 5 more teams. Let's do the top 15 average. Where we was Vikings, Giants. Why? Injuries, inconsistent quarterback play. Packers, playoff. Falcons, inconsistent injury quarterback play. Buccaneers, inconsistent quarterback play. Baker, they were fine the first half, but after they bye week, Baker, they just took a dive. I'm saying outside of inconsistencies, horrible quarterback play, teams with good to average D lines made the playoff. I'm finna tie this in. And then 15, New England was in the Super Bowl. Now, I say all that to say, look at where the Jaguars are. Almost below, towards the bottom of the league. What kept us? Let me minimize that. We stop sharing that. Towards the bottom of the league, what kept us? We tapped into that run game. We tapped into the run game. And Trevor's lightened up. When Liam said, I told him, just be you. Just stop worrying. Stop. Just go out there and sling that thing. When we tapped into that, plus that, I mean, if people thought it was going to go 14-3. I didn't even predict that. But run game. So now, with the quarterback we have, both our coordinators are coming back. Our head coach is coming back. We got the same GM. Nothing changed. All that's back on your key pieces. All that's back. So I'm expecting, dang, why I got rid of it. Them teams that was up the Rams, the Seahawks, the Texans. I'm expecting when that D-line like that can get up to that level, we'll probably be in doggone Super Bowl. At least AFC Championship game. So this is why I say you have to see the vision and team needs. You can tell that this draft they went off team needs, not best. Because a part of me was like, dang, why we didn't get this? They went with team needs. And I also, because there were times in the season, I'm like, dang, see, like we can't get no push, or we can't. Our D line was getting pushed around. Like these quarterbacks was kind of able to do what they wanted to do, to the point where we were even talking about Josh Allen, like, which I said, I always tell y'all, somebody ball out in the contract year, that next after that it's gonna be it's certain guys they're gonna stay. But if you've been teeter-totter and then boom, contract year, because we also, where's Josh Allen? I tried to tell y'all the man was in a contract year. But I want to pull up our schedule because, like I said, there was times in the year it was like, dang, where's the D line? Where's the push? So our linebackers was great, man. Devin Lloyd, we'll get here. We'll get to the playoff loss. Won against the Panthers. Lost to the Bengals. We gave up 31 points. 31 points. I want to say Burrow got hurt that game. Yeah. Backup came in, was just able to do whatever he wanted to do. Now, I will say there was the call on Travis Hunter, that tacky. The defense was great here. This gave up 28 points. It's the Chiefs, but this game was horrible. That score don't even show you the truth of that game. I mean, just look at this. 35-7. Gave up 29 to the Raiders. Had to take the Raiders to OT. Gave up 36 to this game. Everybody talk about this game. Gave up 36 to the Texans. This was the comeback game with Davis doggone Mills. Now, you tell me, I guarantee that game had a big, we got to get this defense. We got to get this D-line together. This is crazy. Dominated Chargers. 24. And then the rest is, horrible. Now, this game was very dominant. But as you can see, there were some games in there and some moments in there that we were like, there were some games and moments in there where we were like, hey, our D-line where's the D-line? Where's the push? And sometimes the scores don't show the whole, story, but I want to also show Liam Cohen talking about Albert and his strengths and what their vision is for what he's going to bring to the Jaguars.
So, like you mentioned, though, the football intelligence, the football IQ, the feel, how to play single blocks, how to play double teams, how he runs to the football. I mean, this guy chases things down, screens. We talk about heat for players for us and the amount of buy-in in the building for these players, specifically Albert, a ton of buy-in, and you hit it on the head. The type of football intelligence, IQ matched with somebody that's going to play his tail off and compete. That's exactly what we're hunting up. Like you mentioned, though, the football intelligence, the football IQ, the feel, how to play single blocks, how to play double teams, how he runs to the football. I mean, this guy chases things down, screens. We talk about heat for players for us and the amount of buy-in in the building for these players, specifically Albert, a ton of buy-in, and you hit it on the head. The type of football intelligence, IQ matched with somebody that's going to play his tail off and compete. That's exactly what we're hunting up.
So we got a sense of what they were looking at when they selected Albert. And also, Like I said, when everybody was hired, Baselli was hired as EVP. They want intangible, rich guys. Motor, effort, gonna chase, screens, gonna chase, along with his football IQ. And you watch his tape, and we're gonna play. I'm gonna play the person's highlights, and you watch it. That is him. So it brings me to my overall grade. Albert, Mr. Albert, Big Al is his Instagram name. I apologize because I had it at a C because it's the size. I'm the size and the arm length. But I said, you know what? This man is a dog. Albert is a dog. That man got a wife, a child. He ain't coming in here to play. He ain't coming in here to play. Like we just said, versatile, motor, gon' get to the ball, gon' start the run, that power, that speed. And then I go look at, okay, what are some other 6'1" defensive tackles in the NFL? Aaron Donald, Ed Oliver, Benito Jones. I'm not saying he's going to be Aaron Donald, but could he be Ed Oliver? With a guy paired next to him, with an Armstead or a Hamilton, and the part of my concern was too, Armstead and Hamilton, after this season, their contracts are up. So he's going to be a key piece. Can he be that key piece? We have this year to find out. I kind of was giving my C based on, I don't know, but we talking about this pick right now, what I think he could bring, given a year of learning under those guys. And Ruke is young too. I said, I'm going to give it a B-. That power, man, his power, man, his speed, man, his quickness. I'm telling y'all, I'm with the underdogs. I'll tell y'all this, I'm with the underdog. The folk think can't do nothing because the size of the. They say the same thing about Aaron Donald. That's how I said, when I seen that list, I said, B-. This is a B- draft pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So Albert, just come in and do what you got to do. That's going to end this one on Albert Regis. Y'all know I like to end it off by playing a person's highlight so you can kind of get a sense of what we're getting. I'm going to slow it down a little bit because it do be a little too quick sometimes. And enjoy this. You can stay if you want to, stay if you don't. Enjoy this. And let's see. We'll end off here. We'll enjoy this. Make sure everything done before you try to have fun. Now, enjoy Albert's highlights.